Hello everyone, it's Joel Davis with Home Care Access. First and foremost, thank you all for your great questions, your emails expressing your interest. We always appreciate it, and we look forward to working with many of you like Edna. Edna, much and many congratulations to you. I won't mention your last name or your state for anonymity purposes, but Edna was actually one of our first few client providers who saw the opportunity and took advantage of our 120 days of one-on-one coaching. Now, Edna is in a very unique situation because she is a very smart, diligent, disciplined, hardworking, and diversified business owner. So she has irons in many different fires, hence the reason she ensured to enlist our help, because Marty and Ginny have been working diligently to get everything processed for her application to move her business forward. It was rather tedious because she has so many different business endeavors that the application process and the verification actually took longer than anticipated. But Edna, you were absolutely awesome to work with, because when we needed something, Edna got it. She didn't drag her feet. She was diligent. She was Johnny on the spot, and we appreciate it. So some good news. Let me share an email from Marty and Ginny to Edna congratulating her. They wrote, "Hello, Edna. It is almost champagne time. We spoke with blank for a license a few minutes ago. He assisted us with the final deficiency. He was able to walk through the application and found all to be in order. He is forwarding the application immediately to blank application specialist. She will be the one to give final approval. He believes this should take about 1 to 2 weeks. He was not sure, but believes she will email you the final license upon approval. So do be looking for that somewhere between January 7th to 14th. If you do not receive this by the 14th, please contact us and we will follow up per his suggestion and timeline. Now we wait ever so patiently. Enjoy the New Year celebrations, and we will speak again when you get the email. Congrats, Marty and Ginny Rug." And what was Edna's response? It was very simple. Thank you, and more thank yous. So needless to say, I think Edna appreciated working with Marty and Ginny Rug. Part of the benefits of working with our executive team, in addition to doing a lot of the legwork, a lot of the research, because everybody's state, everybody's immediate community is different. There's a lot of different moving parts and variables. No two communities or areas are the same. But some of the added benefits, in addition to doing all that research and application process, when you work with us, our team is going to be working diligently to prepare all the necessary policies and procedures that you're going to need to build your business and to ensure they are compliant with any government contract that you get. So when you look at some of these documents, these are over 300 pages worth of policies and procedures that Marty and Ginny have been diligently working on to make sure that they have for Edna. So kudos to them, kudos to you, Edna. Again, great job on your part. We appreciate it. So for those of you who have considered working with us one-on-one, I just want to take a second to, Ginny, if you're watching this, forgive me, but I just got to share this because your husband sent it to me. But this is a testament to the awesome business partners I have and the type of people they are. So go ahead and take a listen to this.
"Hi, Jeannie, it's Sarah. I picked up my card. I don't know why it didn't get delivered, but I am shocked and I am so happy for the gift that you have given us. It's incredible. My car got a hit, skip, side swipe in the parking lot, and this will almost reach my deductible, and I didn't know where it was going to come from. Your letter was beautiful, and I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Happy New Year." Bye-bye.
Now that is a testament to the awesome person that Ginny Rug is, as well as Marty. But there's nothing better than being in the position to be a blessing to someone else. And that is exactly why I partner with awesome people like Marty and Ginny Rug, because they are great people doing great things. And I don't know the entire backstory behind that message, but obviously Jenny did something great to help this woman out, and Marty Marty sent that to me to brag on what an awesome woman his wife is, and he is absolutely correct. So Ginny, don't beat me up too bad. I just had to share it because you're awesome. So let me get into the crux, the true purpose of this video. Easily one of the most common questions we get that we keep answering. So I figured I'd make a video like this so it kind of answers it for everybody, makes it easy. People ask, what type of money can you make with a home care agency? And again, everything that we teach you is about being a non-medical home care agency, often referred to as companion care. Every state has different vernacular, different terminology, so there is some variation, but everything that we teach with Home Care Access is non-medical, making it easier to get licensed, easier to get started, gives you a great opportunity for many contracts. Historically speaking, my background with the home care industry is everybody that I work with was really focused on private pay. Now, in partnering with Marty and Ginny, by all means, they have plenty of private pay clientele as well. But one of the great things in partnering with them is they have a very dynamic business model. They have a lot of government contracts. Marty and Ginny still own and operate their own home care agency of over 20 years, community caregivers, and they're doing very well. Again, they've been in it for over 20 years. They have a much more dynamic business model where they have government contracts, multiple government contracts. And if you've paid attention to any of the previous videos, you heard Ginny talk about how just in their county alone, just in their county, they have over 500 people on waiting lists. Over 500 people on waiting lists waiting to get placed with reliable, credible, professional home care agencies. Now, that clearly underscores there's a huge demand. But why are these people on a waiting list? Why is there such a high demand? Because there's low capacity. Everybody knows right now, from corner to corner across this great country and probably pretty much across the world, everybody is enduring a labor shortage. Now, we could discuss many reasons for that labor shortage, but that's a topic for another day. Regardless, there is a significant labor shortage. I'd like to think we're moving in the right direction to resolving that. Progress is definitely slow, but it is progress nonetheless, so let's continue to hope and prepare for the best for sure. But when you have over 500 people waiting on a waiting list to be placed, it underscores opportunity. Now, what I did in an effort to answer a lot of these questions of how much money can you make with the home care agency, what I did is I put some simple numbers together. And I tried to be as painfully conservative as possible so none of you watching this can say, oh, you're just trying to spread the news of a get-rich-quick scheme. Listen, I'm going to underscore, these numbers could not be more conservative. I would argue that the average home care agency typically bills in 4-hour increments. So for them to come out there and render service, minimum of 4 hours. Now, there are some agencies who go 3. I've seen some that will go 2. When you get down to 2, sometimes you could be chasing your own tail, but some agencies will do it to give them a distinct marketing advantages, especially in competitive markets. So kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I would still argue that the majority of home care agencies still bill at 4-hour increments, like another number at 3 and fewer number at 2. But regardless, the way I structured these generic numbers, and I encourage you, take some time, invest some time, put pen to paper, and run your own forecast. Run your own forecast to see how much money you can make. Now again, I mentioned, historically speaking, my experience in the home care industry, I'm working with people who are really focused on the private pay market. And I would say right now, the private pay market is averaging $22, closer to $23 per hour. Some places I see 24, some I see 25. Now, I mentioned in previous articles and some of my previous publications, I've seen some people in more affluent areas hitting up in the high 20s and even into the 30s. That is clearly an anomaly. It is not the norm. But for the private pay market, you're looking at hovering around $22, $23. You can start to push it up on the higher end of the 24 and even the 25s. For government contracts, typically the hourly rate of reimbursement isn't as much, but the good thing about that is that when you're getting these government contracts, especially when they have such a high demand and so many people are on waiting lists, you never have to hire a marketer. You don't have to invest into an additional labor expense to get someone, whether it's you or someone else, to go out there and literally work to build and promote your business. It's literally, they're given to you right now. So again, I encourage you, put pen to paper, develop your own forecast. What I did, I started with 15 clients. 15 clients. Now, did I mention how in Marty and Ginny Roog's county alone, there's over 500 people on a waiting list? I'm not sure I mentioned that. But if I did, if you had 15 clients and you build each client for 12 hours a week. Now again, if you're doing an average of, let's say, 4 hours per client, that's only 3 days a week. That's like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Again, there's going to be people, you're going to have clients that require 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Some may need care 3 days a week. Some may need it 5 days a week. Maybe a loved one helps cover them on the weekends when they're not working. The scenarios are endless. Regardless, there's going to be plenty of clients who are going to need more than 4 hour window of opportunity. So therefore, I'm trying to be painfully conservative. If you have 15 clients and you're billing each of them 12 hours a week, that's it. That's a total of 180 hours a week. Translate that out for a month, we're looking at 720 hours. That's for a 4 week per month. That's 720 hours. Now listen, I can't stress enough, just to avoid any accusations that I'm being bombastic, being ridiculous with my numbers, being ridiculous with my forecasting, just trying to sell a product. I'm being painfully conservative. I'm saying at only $19 an hour. Only $19 an hour. Could I be any more conservative than that? We know on our private pay market, we're probably averaging 22, 23, squeezing up to 24, 25. Some government contracts may be paying $18.50 an hour, some $18.75, some $19.35, who knows? But I'm saying conservatively, if you only averaged $19 per hour, throughout all this forecasting, I'm only going $19 an hour. So, going back to my first example, if we had 720 hours per month based on 15 client scenario, at $19 per hour, that gives us monthly cash flow of $13,680, which translates annually to $160. So close to $165,000. Now, using those annual sales, if we squeezed out a 20% margin, now a 20% margin should be the absolute minimum. If your home care agency is not making 20% margin, we need to overhaul your business model because you're being very wasteful. No question, you can get 20% out of your home care agency. I'd like to see you squeeze closer to 25. You could definitely do that when you have a combination of government contracts and private pay. When you have a good, hefty combination, it's much easier to get a 25% margin. If you have even more private pay, then you can now start pushing it up incrementally, get even closer to the 30%. So again, I'm going to give you all the possible scenarios. And again, I encourage you, put pen to paper, develop your own forecast using the exact same methodology that I'm sharing with you right now. 15 clients averaging 12 hours per week each is 180 hours. Throughout the course of the month, it's 720 hours. The monthly cash flow would be $13,680. Our annual sales would be $160. With 20% margin, that puts $32,830 in our pocket. Again, are we getting rich at this point? No, but we're talking about only 15 clients. Did I happen to mention that in Marty and Ginny Roog's county alone, there's over 500 people who are on a waiting list right now? It's gimme money. If we do squeeze it up to a 25% margin, now we're putting over $40,000 in our pocket. Actually, we're at $41,500. $41,040. If we get to 30%, again, by the time you get to 30% margin, you have a well-oiled machine. I guarantee you have a mixed clientele, a diversified clientele of combination government contracts, those with who are private pay. If on the same scenario we get to 30% margin, we now have $49,248, so close to $50,000. So if we're anywhere between 25 and 30% margin, already, and only 15 clients, only doing 12 hours in a week, we're already making what the national average is for someone who's working a full-time job for somebody else. So I mean, the one thing I will say about home care, there's pros and cons with any business. The con with home care agency is the vast majority of your expenses is labor. Fact. The vast majority is labor. You're paying for your caregivers, bottom line. Unlike a non-emergency medical transportation business or some other business with a lot of heavy assets, home care agency is not an asset-heavy business. So the vast majority of your expenses are going to be labor-related. But with that being said, the other great thing about home care is I would argue it's very predictable. Now, does that mean you're not going to have scheduling issues? Of course you're going to have scheduling issues. You're always going to have scheduling issues. The more you build, grow, and scale, which is our goal with Home Care Access, is to get you to build, grow, and scale your business. You're not going to have 15 clients and think you're going to go out there and be a hard charger and you're going to build your business by you personally being a caregiver. That's not the goal. The goal is for you to get caregivers. We have many people who are coming to us who their experience is a nurse's aide, a certified aide. That's great. You have credentials. That's awesome. You have familiarity with the industry, the type of work. That's huge. It's a great opportunity. But again, if you think you're going to get to a point where you're going to service 15 clients by you personally going out there being the caregiver, that's not it. The goal, the focus is for you to build a business that you're going to be able to grow and scale. And going back to my point, the one of many great things about home care is that it is predictable. You know you have someone for 4 hours. You know you have someone for 8 hours. You know you have someone for 12 hours. You know the days. Again, is a home care agency without scheduling conflicts? There's always going to be scheduling conflicts the more you get caregivers. Sometimes some clients, maybe they can't go at 9 o'clock today. Maybe for whatever reason they have to go at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. There's always going to be a scheduling issue. But again, the great thing about home care is it gives you the ability to forecast your business, forecast your cash flow, forecast your earnings. It's a great opportunity. So let's get a little crazy now and say the same 15 clients. We're not averaging 12 hours per week. We're averaging 20. 20. Again, this is not unreasonable. If you watch some of our previous videos, you will have seen when we were looking at some of the requests from some of these government agencies, they were asking Marty and Ginny in their specific home care agency, community caregivers, some people were asking for 12-hour increments, as in, or even 8 hours, or this specific client needs 8 hours every session, needs 12 hours every session. So now, again, let's be very conservative. We're still averaging $19 an hour. If the same 15 clients were averaging 20 hours per week, which would total 300 hours per week or 1,200 hours per month. Again, we're at $19 per hour. That's going to give us a monthly cash flow of $22,800. That means our annual sales will be $273,600 and $600. Again, are we setting the world on fire? No. Are we getting rich overnight? No. Is this a get rich quick scheme? No. Is this a situation where you could just go out to the front mailbox and collect your checks? No. But we're gaining momentum here. By any chance did I mention how in Marty and Ginny's county alone, there's over 500 people on a waiting list? How many people are on waiting list in your community? So, 15 clients, average of 20 hours per week, gives us annual sales of $273,000 and $600. If we are at a minimum 20% margin, which is very conservative, very attainable, very doable for this industry, a 20% margin, your earnings are going to be $54,720. But you are running an even greater and more efficient system. Let's squeeze that up to 25% margin. That jumps, that $54,000, almost $55,000 now jumps to almost $69,000. It's $68,400 at 25% margin. But you got a healthy mix. You have clientele who are coming from government contracts. You have private pay. You're going to squeeze out a greater margin. Let's say you attain 30%. You're already at $82,080. I love numbers. Numbers tell a great story. I love having the ability to forecast. This is exactly what we're doing right now. Again, take pen to paper. Put any scenario together that you want. All right, so we've been in business. We got momentum. We're working diligently to bring on caregivers. We know we got high demand in our community. Our problem is we don't have the capacity, but we're working hard to be diligent business owners to add good, quality, competent, capable, reliable, professional caregivers so we can start to close that gap. We're at 30 clients now, who each client is averaging 20 hours per week. We're still stuck on only $19 per hour. So at 30 clients, averaging 20 hours a week, we're at 600 hours per week, or 2,400 hours per month at $19 per hour. That means our monthly cash flow is already $45,600. And annually, we've broken the $500,000 mark. Annually, our business would be at $547,200 annual sales. Again, we're talking 30 clients averaging 20 hours per week. By any chance did I mention how in Marty and Jeannie Ruggs County alone in Ohio, there's over 500 people on a waiting list because they don't have enough agencies, they don't have enough competent, capable caregivers to accept the work. And that is just for the government, people who are on government contracts. So let's go back to our example, a 30 and 20. We have over $500,000 in sales. We're at $547,200 at 20% margin. You are making over 6 figures yourself. Actually, you're making close to 110. Specifically at 20% margin, based on that example, you're making $109,440. Because you are a smart, diligent, hardworking business owner like Edna, you are squeezing out every ounce of margin you can get. You're at 25% margin. You're already making almost $137,000. $136,800 specifically based on this example. I love how numbers compound. Now, if we're able to build that to a 30% margin, again, I get it. The norm is closer to 20, ranges between 20 and 25, but you're special. You are studying our material, you're going to work hard, you're going to work diligently, you're going to build strong, diversified clientele. You're at 30% margin, using the same example, you are at $164,160. Again, this is why I love numbers. And with the home care agency, you can forecast your numbers with much greater certainty than most businesses for sure. So let's get super duper crazy and say we work our way up to 60 clients. Now listen, if you've studied some of my material previously, you'll know that some of the home care clients that I've worked with, multiple clients have not only built their home care agency and sold it and started a second one. I actually have one who's on her third business, and she sold each of those businesses for 7 figures. Had hundreds of caregivers. So if you have hundreds of caregivers, trust me, you have that many more clients. So is having a client base of 60 clients attainable? Absolutely. This is why I'm being so painfully conservative in these numbers. No one watching this can accuse me of being unrealistic, bombastic, get rich quick, nothing. Run any numbers you want. 60 clients, averaging only 20 hours each averaging only 20 hours each, knowing that some clients you have, they're going to be around the clock, some are going to be 12-hour shifts, some are going to be 8-hour shifts. The scenarios are unique and endless. That's going to give you 1,200 hours per week, or 4,800 per month. Again, I'm still stuck on averaging only $19 per hour. Could I be any more conservative? I mentioned to you, private pay clients right now, we're 22, 23, pushing closer to 24, 25. I'm saying only $19. I'm trying to be painfully conservative. With this scenario, with 60 clients, our monthly cash flow is going to be over $90,000. Specifically with this example, we're going to be at $91,200. Go through all of these numbers and scenarios and forecasts that I'm sharing with you right now and just change it from $19 an hour to $20. Change any scenario you want and see how the numbers change. Absolutely, it's beautiful. Annual sales on only 60 clients. On only 60 clients. On only 60 clients. Did I mention how in Marty and Ginny Ruggs County there's over 500 people who are on a waiting list? Only 60 clients, averaging only $19 per hour. We're at over $1 million. We're at $1,094,400 in annual sales. 20% margin on that, you're at almost $220,000. Specifically $218,880. But again, because you are like Edna and you're going to squeeze out margin and make it even more profitable, we're going to put you closer to 25%, which means on the same scenario at just over $1 million, your margin at 25% would equate to $273,600. If you're super duper efficient, you get closer to 30% margin. You have a diversified clientele base. You're almost at $330,000. So if your business is doing $1,094,000 at 30% margin, again, is 30% margin lofty? I would argue yes. It's definitely not the norm. But again, if you have a healthy mix of private clientele, the sky is the limit. You're looking at $328,320. Joel, how much money can you make in a home care agency? The sky is the limit. I encourage you, put pen to paper. Don't ask me, do it yourself. Invest some time and effort into local research. I guarantee you that if you say, oh, but Joel, but Marty, but Ginny, I have competitors. There's all these other home care agencies. Do you think they're working for free? But Joel, what about all these franchises? Do you think they're working for free? It does not matter. If you have this many people, just in one county where Marty and Ginny are, do you think there might be people who are on a waiting list in your area? People who are private pay that are having a hard time finding good, competent, quality caregivers? I'm not going to make any secrets about it. Your biggest challenge in developing your home care agency is finding, training, retraining, and cultivating good, competent, capable caregivers. But again, the more you study home care access, you're going to see how, again, Marty and Ginny Rugg literally have caregivers who've been with them since the very first day. Most of their caregivers have been with them long term. Of course, there's going to be some who are going to come in, come out. You may find you're going to have some caregivers who you know they're only going to be there temporarily, and that's fine. Maybe they're a nursing student and they're only there temporarily until they take the next progression, they graduate, and they take the next advancement in life. Kudos to them. But while they're with you, you invest in them, ensure that they work hard, they invest in your clientele. It's a win-win situation. So again, your biggest challenge is in building, growing, and scaling, which is what we are dedicated to teaching you, is building a good, strong caregiver workforce that's going to help you close the gap. The demand is there. Nobody can argue the demand is there. It's you developing a business with increased capacity to help narrow and close that gap. When you do, that's when you make money. And when you make that money, we'll see you at the top.